The five gates speak to the different tributaries that come into the soul as a consequence of being alive right now in this culture. And we typically only acknowledge the first gate of grief, which is the grief that occurs when someone or something that we love dies or leaves. And that's the only grief that really has any acknowledgement culturally. People will say, "I'm sorry for your loss." And that's really the only one that really has a chance of being responded to. And it's also one of the only ones that we acknowledge. The other four gates of grief typically aren't even thought of or recognized. The second gate has to do with the loss of something, some part of us that has never known love. You know, we are raised in cultures that really narrow down the parameter of how much we get to inhabit of our own life. So in my family, I was not allowed to keep possession of my anger, my joy, my sensuality, even my exuberance was cut out. So we cleave parts of our psyche, cleave parts of our soul out of our lives, and that's a loss to the integrity of our psyche, to the integrity of our soul. And the proper response to that loss should be grief. But we typically hold these parts of us with judgment and contempt. And we cannot grieve for something that we hold with judgment. So there's this perpetual, ongoing feeling of loss that we never really resolve. The third gate of grief has to do with the losses of the world, the sorrows of the world. Every day we hear about species depletion, the emptying of the oceans, mountaintop removal, or even just the casualties by the roadside. They are our daily litany of loss that we feel on some level. The fourth gate has to do with, it's a little harder to name, but it's the loss we feel around what we expected when we arrived here and did not receive. We are wired for the full experience and encounter that our deep time ancestors had, which was namely tribal or village life on a consistent basis, participation with nature on a consistent basis, rituals to deal with the movement and transitions of life, the losses, the gratitudes, the healing. That's what we expected when we arrived here. We expected to get up in the morning and have 40 pairs of eyes greeting us and saying, "What did you dream last night, John?" Tell me your story. And to gather tonight around the fire to hear the old stories. That's what we expected, and almost none of that materialized. So we feel kind of an aching echo in our bodies of what it is that we don't even know to name, but is not there. And the fifth gate of grief is what I call ancestral grief. And this grief has to do with, on many different levels. One of them is simply that at some point our ancestors came from an intact tribal community, someplace. They knew the land, they had the rituals, they had the language, the songs, the food, and they were embedded into that place. And at some point there was a severing of that connection and a move to this continent. Typically that entailed a great deal of loss of traditions, language, and so forth. But the deeper part of this ancestral grief is what happened when our ancestors arrived here, with the destruction of ecosystems, of entire indigenous populations, the advent of slavery. All of these are still weaving their way down the ancestral lineage, and it's still in our bones. It's still in our body. Those are the 5 gates of grief.
Look forward to your transition. It's the first time you will experience unconditional love. It will be all peace and love, and all the nightmares and the turmoil you went through in your life will be like nothing. When you make your transition, you're asked 2 things basically. How much love you have been able to give and receive, and how much service you have rendered. And you will know every consequence of every deed, every thought, and every word you have ever uttered. And that is symbolically speaking going through hell when you see how many chances you have missed. But you will also see how a nice act of kindness has touched hundreds of lives that you're totally unaware of. So concentrate on love while you're still around, and teach your children early unconditional love. So remember, concentrate on love and look forward to the transition. It's the most beautiful experience you can ever imagine.
Whoever you are, wherever you're from, whatever tradition guides your way, there comes a time when we all need to be touched through the heart.
No one has ever prepared us for this experience. We think it's the end. No. It's another beginning. Another beginning. It's knowing that you loved. Knowing that you loved. It's not easy letting yourself be loved. Of course, we've learned to judge ourselves. And we're always judging ourselves. But I learned to listen, that I was loved. I was loved. And then I would forget that I was loved. Those were the most painful times for me. Forgetting that I was loved. So you've let yourself be loved while you've been here. And you've judged yourself. And you've forgotten that you were loved. And you became alone. But you will always be here. You are blessed. You are forgiven. an angel. You have to listen that you're loved. And you have to forgive all the time. Listen that you're loved. And forgive all the time. You are love. Farewell, my son. Farewell, my daughter. Farewell, my father. Farewell, my mother. Farewell, my sister. Farewell, my brother. Thank you for letting me love you. Thank you for letting yourself be loved. God bless you.
If I have more pain, if I die later today or tomorrow, it's a win. Stay present with that.
So there's a soul, a dear, blessed, loving soul named Ethan Sisser. He's 36. He was diagnosed with glioblastoma. He started documenting his journey on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
Doctor said there's nothing they can do. The chemo can't help. Not doing the chemo, nothing will change either. What's going to happen next is I'm going to keep a smile in my heart.
One thing I would love is a strong support system. I feel like it could be beautiful for everyone involved.
I don't know if anybody's ever done it in terms of how you're doing it.
I'm trying to medically find a way to where he can be comfortable in a home setting.
We all are born, we all leave the body, so why not do it in the most beautiful way possible? I am embodied. I am empowered. I am ecstatic.
Mind if I get this off my chest now?
It's a journey with him, and I can only go so far.
My sense of Ethan's state of being fills this whole area. He called for a family, and this family showed up.
Can death be fun? I mean, that could be the most exciting journey ever.